Welcome to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast, a space where we break free from tradition, creating a wedding day totally authentic to you and your love story. I'm Abby, UK wedding planner and owner of Elegance Unlimited, here to help you plan a wedding day that feels uniquely yours. Join me for planning tips and advice, endless inspiration, and a pocket full of calm within the chaos that is wedding planning. Consider me a trusted friend, here to walk you through it all. From injecting fun splashes of personality into your day, to reinventing tradition completely, all whilst focused on building a day bespoke to your dreams and desires. I cannot wait to get started, so let's get planning. Welcome back to another episode of the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. My name is Abby. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining. The usual spiel that I give out at the beginning of an episode. I'm very grateful to have you here. All of that kind of stuff. If you come back, thank you. If you're new, welcome. It's all very exciting. Today is episode 22. We're really coming along with these now. And I was sitting thinking the other day, how on earth have we done 22 episodes already? Like that's 20, I do one a week. That's 22 weeks. That's such a long time. Such a long time. But I'm very grateful, as always, that you are listening and always hoping, from my perspective, that it's providing something helpful. So yeah, welcome back. Today, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're looking at the clips on Instagram, wherever you tend to watch, I haven't got headphones on this week because they're giving me some grief and they're uncomfortable to wear and I didn't want to wear them. So we're testing it without the headphones. So it won't sound any different, hopefully, and it will just look a bit different. I've just not got headphone hair. So everything else should be absolutely fine and there should be no issues. But if you hear this, it means I haven't had to re-record, which is a bonus. If you don't hear this, then it doesn't matter. It's completely void anyway because I've had to re-record it because the sound was off. But we will see how we get on. It is throwing me off a little bit though. I feel like I'm not fully in podcast mode, but the sound is like cutting in, cutting out, and it's too much. I don't have time. I don't have time to stress about things like that. I've got a podcast to record. So we're just going to record it and see how we go. All right. That is my little ramble over. As usual, we are going to get stuck straight on into things today. I'm very excited to give you some more tips and have another little chat for you. So today we are talking about personalising your wedding day. I've done a couple of kind of talks and chats about stuff similar to this before, but we're going to do more of like a Q&A style. I want to say quick fire, but I don't know if my brain knows such thing because I do ramble on. So I don't know how that's going to work. We shall see. I've basically pulled together a load of questions to do with personalising different bits of your day. We're going to run through them. I'm going to give you some tips, some inspo. If it's helpful, let me know. If it's not, I do apologise. Let me know what would be helpful. Quick side note before we do get stuck in, if you haven't yet subscribed or you are enjoying the podcast, then I would very much appreciate it if you did. You can leave comments on Spotify and on YouTube. You can come join our Facebook group. You can do all the things that you need to know. If there's any links to things that you need or you want to come find me somewhere else, you can come find all of that in the show notes. So come and meet me there. Right. Personalising your wedding day. Let's do it. So, like I said, I've pulled together a load of random questions. I've got them on my little screen behind the camera here that you can't see. So we're just going to go through some and see if it's helpful for you. A lot of you really like when I talk about personalizing your wedding day. And it's a big thing for me. It's a big thing that I talk about in my work with my couples, in the Instagram space, on my website, like all of the places. It's my key thing, I think, that I work on with couples. And I want to encourage couples to do. I want you to personalize your day. I want it to feel like it's yours. We don't want the kind of copy, paste. That's not what we do around here. We take inspiration and we take ideas and we take, little nuggets of things that we see elsewhere and go, yeah, I'm going to use that and I'm going to make it my own. I'm going to use that and I'm going to flip it. Or, we're taking inspo from various different places. I never want you to plan your wedding day and just feel like you are working through a template, copying and pasting from someone else's day and not having a day that feels true to you. So the whole personalization aspect is something that I encourage you to work on heavily. And, my couples will know that we do work on it heavily. Everything that they ask me, I'm saying, okay, here's my advice, but how do you want to take that? What feels right for you? If you don't like that advice, leave it. It doesn't serve you. If you want to take it and run and, put your own spin on it, then absolutely fine. But it's something that I do encourage heavily. So firstly then, what are some ways that you can personalize your wedding ceremony in a really quick, simple, easy way? Love this question, by the way. I think this is a really good one to start with because your ceremony is like the focal point of the day, right? It's what everyone's come for, to see you get married. So I completely understand why people are wanting to make this aspect more personal, more bespoke. And this is no judgment on the traditional wedding ceremony or the registrar ceremony or anything that, people choose to do and love, but it's not very personal for a lot of people. Some people love it. But for a lot of people, you're sat there thinking, I really wanted to be able to play this specific song and we can't play that. Or I really wanted to have this reading done in our ceremony by someone that, means a lot to us and you might not be able to do that, or time constraints, or because of all the other things you have to tick off in like an official traditional ceremony, you're not able to do everything you want to do. I get it. So the easiest way to have a personalized wedding ceremony is to have a celebrant-led ceremony, or like a humanist or a blessing or whatever you choose to call it. Flip the opposite of doing the legal wedding ceremony. If you want to still be legally married, you can go and do that and have that done at the registry office, at the courthouse, wherever you choose to go for that. But you don't have to have it on your wedding day. And I think that's really important to remember. If you have a celebrant-led ceremony, and I need to get a celebrant on the podcast really to talk through ideas and inspo and just like really get you guys understanding the difference. A celebrant-led ceremony can be really good if you want something that's written for you. So a celebrant will chat to you, they'll work with you, and they will pull together a ceremony that's been written from start to finish for you guys as a couple. There's like little tidbits all throughout about your story and your relationship and your life and, your journey as a couple. And it can be whatever you want it to be. It could be funny, it could be romantic, it could be, like soft and gentle and just like a really nice kind of blessing about your story and your relationship, or it could be witty and funny and there's all these little kind of stories in there that are making your guests laugh. It's totally up to you, and I think a lot of that will depend on the celebrant you go for. A lot of it would depend on the conversations you're having with them and your story as a couple. But I really, really love the celebrant-led ceremony. I love every wedding ceremony, I will say that. There's no this one's better than that one, but there is just something extra magic about when I get to see a celebrant-led ceremony. It's just like, it's all the extra feels, and you really feel as a guest like you're being invited in to, take a seat with them in that moment as well. You're not just kind of watching in, you're being really invited in, and I love that. Another really easy way to personalize your ceremony is to focus on the visuals and the way it looks. So you could be having, like, some people will do like little programs on the seats at their like ceremony space. So you've got like an order of the day, or this is what's going to be happening, or this is what's going on in the ceremony. And you've got like, this time the ceremony starts, and then there's an introduction by our registrar or our celebrant, and then there's a reading by this person, and then the vows are happening, and then the marriage, and then like you've got it written down, and you can personalize that in a way that matches your wedding decor, or you can include personalized bits about your relationship on there, or there's a photo of you on there, things like that. I think it's really easy to forget that that's a really quick win. That's a really easy way to personalize things. And I think it's really important to remember as well, when it comes to weddings and personalizing weddings, you don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to sit there and think, I need to think of something completely unique that's never been done before, and I need to think of all these things that are going to wow my guests, and that's the way that you make it feel personal and bespoke and unique and all these other things. That's not the case. The easiest way to personalize your day is to make it about you as a couple. It's as simple as that. Sometimes it is the case of just including something that just really speaks so much about you guys as a couple, right? Maybe it's a picture, maybe it's a holiday photo that no one's ever seen before, maybe it's an engagement photo that no one's ever seen before, maybe it's something to do with your first holiday together and you're personalizing your table names and things like that. People forget that's personalizing. That's something unique. And that is something that no one else is going to have at their wedding day, because it's got nothing to do with them as a couple. This is about you as a couple, right? This is exactly what making your day about you is all about. Plaster yourself all over this day. Every single thing has some influence about you, and then it's personalized. So you don't need to overcomplicate it, right? So anyway, Ceremony wise, those are some really easy ways to do it. Go for a celebrant led ceremony, then your entire ceremony is bespoke and you get to choose all the little elements. If you're looking for quick and easy wins, and you can do it with whatever type of ceremony you're having, if you can make the agreement that you want to have a specific reading in there or having specific songs that mean a lot to you, all of those things coming together, that's a really nice way to personalize it. I've touched on this just a little bit there without kind of realizing, but question 2 is, how can couples incorporate their love story into the wedding decor or into the ceremony? So ceremony we've kind of talked about, but incorporating your love story into your wedding day should be something that is happening from the very get-go, from like point one, dot one, day one of planning, right? That should be from the get-go. And for me as a planner and the way I work, and I guess just the way that I perceive weddings and think about weddings, this is such an obvious one to me, right? Because there's no decision that I would be making about my wedding day that didn't serve us as a couple and that didn't reflect us as a couple, because it's our day. So if there's something in the day that's like, oh no, it doesn't feel right for us, not for us, it's gone. Or we're making it feel more like us. We're flipping the script, we're rejigging it, we're refreshing it, we're adjusting it to suit us in a way that serves us, right? So when you're sitting down, when you're brainstorming, this is a really, really nice date night activity to do. The first part of wedding planning is so much fun, right? Because you just get to have all these fun little date nights at home where like the wedmin begins and you're talking about things and you're discussing and you're getting excited, and you might have been together for 5 years and you've had conversations on the regular all about planning a wedding and what you would do. Okay. But as soon as like it's actually happening and it's real, that conversation just feels so different. You're like, oh my God, like we could actually do this now. Like, what if we did this? Yeah, we actually could do that. How exciting. It changes the conversation, right? So the date nights that you will have and that you should have at the beginning of planning are so much fun because you get to sit down and kind of just dream up anything. Anything is possible at this point, right? Because you don't know what you're going to do and you don't know how the day's going to go. Maybe you don't have a venue yet. You don't have any of these things in place. So really, anything is possible. The world is your oyster at this point. So what I would be doing to incorporate our love story is I would be deciding, well, what do we want to share? What parts of our story would we like incorporated into our wedding day? Is it the fact that we go on hikes all the time and we're really like love being outside in nature and all those kind of people? Is that the part of our love story that we want involved? Bringing people into that side of our relationship that they don't normally get to see because it's just the two of us out on our walks, out on our adventures, and we want to incorporate that into our day and kind of give them that little insight into it. Is it the fact that we are always restaurant hopping and trying new foods and going out to new places? Is like food going to be a really big thing for us? And are we going to incorporate some of our favorite memories of, going out to different restaurants or trying new foods or traveling the world and trying new foods into our wedding day? Is that how we're going to incorporate it? Is it going to be our family? Is it going to be our kids and our dogs or our cats or our horses? Family like is a huge thing for us and we really want that to be a part of our day. Think about the things as a couple. And this is like, you don't need to make decisions at this point, right? You are really just brainstorming and just talking about, well, what defines us as a couple? What elements of our relationship do people think of when they think of us? And you could ask people this, right? You could ask your friends and family and be like, what do you think of when you think of us as a couple? And it might be that you guys are like the funny couple. Like you've just always got such funny stories to share because you're always just getting up to something that makes people laugh. So then you're thinking, actually, yeah, it makes sense for us to build a day around that, to have the witty comments and things that are funny and funny little touches and nods to memories with all our guests in the day. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the fact that you are always traveling and seeing so many amazing places and you always have such amazing stories to tell from your travels. So maybe you're building in like all of your favorite places you've been. There's different nods to that in your wedding day. And maybe it is that you are just like the dog people and you and your 3 dogs as a couple, like that's just what people think of you with. It's you and the dogs. And so you're thinking, okay, how do we incorporate the pets into the wedding day? I did an episode on this, by the way, recently. So you should go and listen to how you can incorporate pets into your wedding day if that's the kind of couple you guys are. So there are so many ways, right? And I think initially I would be sitting down and saying, what defines us? Write it down, mind map it, put it on Post-it notes, put it on a Word document, nothing is ruled out at this point. I wouldn't be hearing an idea and saying, ugh, no, we're not going to do that. Just write it down, because it could turn into something really fun, right? And then what I would be doing is I would be thinking of ways that you could include that in your wedding day. If there are pets you want to include, maybe we're thinking of ways to include them. If it's we're really big foodie people and we've been traveling around and we'd like to share that with people, what's the favorite place you've been? Maybe you base your wedding breakfast around that. Maybe you're doing a wedding breakfast where every single course is like a different style of food. It's a bit more out there, it's a bit more complex. But if you're like the foodie people and you want food that comes from different cultures for each different course, or maybe you do canapes for like one style of food in the morning, afternoon, and then you do your wedding breakfast as a different style, and then your desserts like another different style, and your evening food is another different style of a different culture of food. Maybe you do it that way. I think things like this, people might listen to and be like, well, that's not our story. But it is. It is your story. Personalizing your wedding and including stuff about you as a couple isn't just plastering your name and your wedding date all over the decor. It's nice to have that somewhere, but that's not as far as personalization goes. Okay. Yes, on your invitations, or maybe on your favors or your photo booth, you want your name and your wedding date, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, 20th of July, whatever. Fine. That's a way to personalize it and tell people like, yeah, this is our wedding day, but it's not the only way to personalize your wedding day. Let's put it this way. Anyone can plan a wedding and have a wedding ceremony, put on a white dress, put on a suit, get 100 people in a room, say your I do's, and have a wedding day. Sit everyone down for a 3-course meal, standard, whatever they're offering, chicken, lamb, whatever. And then you can have a dance in the night. Anyone can do that, right? That's the foundations of a wedding day in a traditional sense. But what makes your day personal and what tells people a story and tells people your story is from start to finish, including things that mean something to you throughout the day. And your guests pick up on that. They will be sitting in your ceremony thinking, oh my God, I didn't know that about them. If you're doing your vows to each other, or if your celebrant's reading out something that you've told them that maybe no one else knows, and they're reading it out and going, oh, that's so sweet. I didn't know that about them. That's your love story. That's the story. That's the narrative that you're giving people about your wedding day. Okay. So don't overthink it, but also don't restrict yourself too much. Don't narrow yourself down to thinking, well, it's a wedding day, so it has to have this, this, and this. It doesn't. We can incorporate as many things as we want to personalize it and make it feel like ours. So I feel like I've gone on a little tangent and a little ramble, and I honestly, I have a lot of questions here. This might have to be a part 1, part 2. Oh, I've not done one of those before, but I don't have time to sit here and talk all of this today. So we might have to do part 1, part 2. Anyway, what was the original question? Hang on. How can you incorporate your love story into your wedding decor and ceremony? Sure, fine. So wedding decor specifically is a really fun one, because you can do the personalized this, that, and the other, or you can just be adding in, like we've said, those subtle nods and subtle touches to your wedding day and into your wedding day, that are all about you as a couple. And it doesn't have to be super obvious. You don't have to be shouting from the rooftops, hey, did you know this about us? And did you know this is our wedding day? And we're trying to make it really personalized and bespoke. It doesn't need to be that. If you want it to be that, absolutely crack on. But not everyone does. So maybe it's just, you've chosen the flowers really intentionally because they're the flowers, like the first flowers he ever bought you were tulips. So you've gone for like a real, tulips are like the leading flower in all of your flower arrangements, right? In the same color that you got given first. No one else knows that, right? But they don't need to. They don't need to know every little detail about why you've planned this and why you did this and why you chose this color and why you chose to do this on the tables. They don't need to know all of that, okay? What's important is that you guys know it and that the day feels like it's yours. And when you create a day with intention like that, the entire day feels like it's been crafted for you. Yeah, and your guests won't even know it, but they will just feel it. Okay, they will just feel like, oh my gosh, this day was perfect for them, and I couldn't even pinpoint why. It was just so them. That's what we want. That's what we're striving for, right? So it doesn't need to be over-engineered. It does not need to be over-engineered. Maybe you're choosing your main course because it's the first type of food you had on your first date. No one else is. They're just going to think nice food. Excellent. Great choice. For you guys, you're thinking this is so cute. This is the food we had on our first date, or this is the first meal we ever cooked together. And now we're eating it on our wedding day. How full circle. And it's the little things, right? You know, the music that you've got playing in the background at your drinks reception that no one's really paying attention to on a really deep level. But if that's a playlist curated of all the songs that you guys listen to on date night when you're cooking at home, or when you're in the car driving on your commutes to go and pick the kids up or whatever else it might be, that's your story. That's all about you. And I love those details because, and it's so good because I almost love that no one needs to know. No one needs to know that you guys will be belting this out together, like on through a McDonald's drive-through when you go on your date nights once a month. For you guys, you'll get that little glance at each other and you'll think, this song, you know this song, and they'll look at you and they'll go, yeah, this song. No one else knows, and that is magic. That's where the magic happens, and that's when you'll get those moments of just standing there and thinking, oh my God, this is our wedding day, and it's perfect. Oh, and I'm going to go off on a tangent. I love so much. And honestly, I could set myself off right now because I've said it before. I cry at every single wedding. I love a wedding. It doesn't matter who I'm there for, what I'm doing, I will cry at your wedding. If I get myself on too much of a tangent talking about how much I love weddings, there's a good chance I'll cry too. So I'm going to pull myself together. I love love. I love love. And I love those special moments on a wedding day. So yeah, if you're looking for ways to incorporate more of that into your day, just have a brainstorm. Think about the things that mean a lot to you. And you don't need to do it all in one go, right? You might have been planning for 4 or 5 months, and one day you're just sat there listening to a song thinking, oh my gosh, this has to be it. This has to be in part of our day. Or you're watching a film, like your favorite film together, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this has to be one of our table names. We have to include this somehow. Or maybe the soundtrack from that film becomes something that you use, or there's like a favorite phrase from a film that you always say back and forth to each other. Maybe that's like in your decor somewhere. Maybe it's in your vows somewhere. Maybe it's in on your invitation somewhere. Maybe it's on like the table somewhere. Like you've got a little printed sign that says that quote on it, and everyone's like, oh, that's funny. Didn't know that about them, but it's from your favorite film together. That's your story. I could go on and on and on because my brain will just keep thinking of ways that you could do things. So if there's anything that you're thinking, help me, I don't know how to personalize my wedding day, just let me know. We can brainstorm together because it's my favorite thing to do. Honestly, I had a call with one of my clients the other day, and the whole way through I was like, oh, and you could do this. Oh, have you thought about doing this? And oh, hang on, I've just had another idea. And we'd have been talking about something else. And I was like, oh, hang on, I've just thought of another idea. Write this down. I just keep thinking of new things all the time. And like you will as well, as soon as you get yourself into the mindset that anything is possible for your wedding day, and you don't have to just do the wedding day. You don't have to just be like, okay, here we go. This is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you do. We're not doing that. No cookie cutter, no templates, no copy paste. It's fine if you want a wedding day like that, but I'm not the planner for you. This is not the podcast for you. This podcast and my planning style is all about pulling things together that feel right for you. So you're in the right place if you're looking for more inspo. I'm going to move on to the next question now because it's been a while. Oh, this one was good. And I wrote this one down because I really liked this question. What is a great way to make a traditional venue feel more unique and more like you? Love this. Okay. Because there are so many gorgeous wedding venues out there and people are getting married at them like every weekend, right? Particularly in the summer months when it's busy. These venues are booked up. And so many gorgeous manor houses and traditional like country houses, and they're gorgeous. They are so gorgeous. But a lot of the time, when you go into these venues, they are decorated to a degree, right? They have the things on the walls, they have the styling in place. And when you're not having like an empty field wedding and putting a marquee in there, when you're having a physical venue, this is a building. We can't move it. It's here. We get what we get. And it's beautiful, and that's why we've booked it. But it just feels like a building right now. It doesn't feel very much like us. And anyone, like I've said, anyone can put some tables and some decor in there and call it a wedding. Anyone can do that. But we're wanting to make it feel more personal, right? So this is where all of the things that we've been talking about come into play. This is when you get to have fun and make a twist on it. If the venue decor itself is in place and it speaks for itself, and you can't do much with it. Like, the venue is beautiful, and a lot of the time you just then need to let that do the talking. Let the venue do its thing. Don't be trying to add loads of things to it that just make it look a bit cluttered and messy. What you then want to focus on is the other ways you can personalize your day. So whether that's what you're wearing, whether that's what you're asking your guests to wear. I love a color schemed wedding when you're saying to everyone, please come in pink, please come in white, please come in black, whatever it is. Love those. Your signage. Signage is such a good way to personalize, and it does not get talked about enough. You can personalize anything with the right colors on your signage and fonts and quotes and pictures and little graphics. Love those. Such a good way to personalize. Your flowers, again, choosing things that reflect you guys as a couple and feel like things that you think wouldn't even necessarily go with the venue in a normal way, but bringing it in anyway. Being like, this is quite a traditional venue. This is quite classic. So let's bring in something bold that wouldn't work. You know, I did a shoot recently, and you might have seen it by the time that this comes out. I'm not sure when the photos are going to be released, when are we allowed to share them, but we had a beautiful like barn, rustic barn with like a little courtyard, and then it was like an empty field with a marquee, right? But there was this like traditional rustic element to the shoot. And we brought in disco balls and we brought in really bright flowers, things that you wouldn't traditionally put in a barn in this kind of space. Normally, you see people going for like the pastels and the lighter toned colours, more muted things and classic colours. And I was like, no, we're going big. We're going bold. I want bright pinks. I want orange. I want disco balls. I want this like big impact in this little rustic stone barn. Stunning. I was obsessed with it. If I do say so myself, I was a big fan. I thought it looked great. Something like that. If you've got a really traditional venue, people expect you to go traditional on the decor, and you can switch that up. So you don't always have to be defined by the venue you choose. It's okay to do something different. You will find yourself, when you're choosing a venue, looking through the pictures on their website and seeing what other people have done. And a lot of the time you think, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, you could. Or you could do the one thing that you're not seeing anyone do on there because there's no pictures of it, because no one's done it yet. So that's how to do something that feels like you. If you switch up a venue in a way that you've not seen anyone do it, you're instantly going to feel like it's yours. Yeah. A really, really nice way to do it. And it doesn't have to be, it sounds like a big job, right? It sounds like a big task. It does not have to be. It can actually just be a really nice way to switch things up and be like, yeah, actually, we've only ever seen people go for like light blush pinks in here with gold. We're going to go for like purple, bright blues, or we're going to go for the bright pink or bright green. Like, we're going to bring in some hints of like lime green in here, like whatever it is, brainstorm it. And if you need some help, come let me know, because I love flipping things around, switching things up and being like, yeah, how can we do this differently in a way that no one's done it before? And still make it feel weddingy, still make it feel elegant, still make it feel classic and beautiful, but with that fun twist on it where people walk in and go, wow, I wouldn't have expected them to do this with this type of venue. I love that. I love that reaction. If that's the kind of thing you're going for, absolutely. And chat to your suppliers about this as well, because there's so much that I can give from a planner's perspective, but let's not forget how much knowledge and expertise your other suppliers have. Your florist, your dressmaker, your stylist, your photographer, like chat to them. And if you've only seen pictures at this venue with a certain photography style, you could go with a different type of photography style and it could feel completely new and unique. It's not just one thing that makes your wedding day feel unique. It's that build up of everything together that makes it feel unique. And the fact that it's your wedding day with you and your partner, it's always going to be completely unique, because the next wedding couple is a completely different couple to you. So yeah, I could talk about that loads as well. I feel like each of these topics could have been their very own wedding podcast episode. So if there's any of them that you're thinking, oh, I'd love a bit more info about that, let me know and I can do a whole episode on it. We'll go over like the bits we've talked about and expand on them some more, because there's just so much I could talk about. This is so much fun. Okay, I've been talking for half an hour and I have got through 3 of my points, and I think I've got about 12 written down here. So we're not going to get through all of them today. I'm going to do one more and then we're going to have to do a part 2. How exciting. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And if there's anything else that you're thinking of to do with traditional weddings, or personalizing them, making things non-traditional that I haven't talked about yet that you want me to talk about, drop me a comment on Spotify, YouTube, drop me a DM, drop me an email, let me know in the Facebook group, whatever you want. But yeah, we'll do one more today. One more. So what else have I got written down here? Are there any fun alternatives to the traditional guest book that really stand out? Uh, loads. Loads and loads and loads. The guest book itself is very much like there's so much you can do with it. You can expand on this idea so much, right? The guest book, you could have a guest book and do so much even with the concept of a book. People go for like a classic plain book that people take pictures, like you can leave a Polaroid camera next to it and people take a picture and write a message in the book. Or you just get a classic book with nice pens. Or people have done we're getting a guest book and we're leaving space for us to put pictures in afterwards and have that as like our coffee table book with some select wedding pictures in that people have signed. Love that idea. So the book itself you can do so much with if you're going in book form, but you don't have to go book form. People do video guest books these days, or the audio guest books where you get the phone and then you get to have like a soundtrack of people saying, oh my gosh, and they might have had a few drinks. It gets quite funny. That's a really nice idea. There's loads of suppliers these days where you can get the guest book phones from as well. So you like hire out the phone, do the recordings all night, and then they take it back, they put it together for you, send it back. That's a really nice idea. Again, video ones where you've got maybe you allocate a friend to go around and spend the evening getting video recordings. It's a big ask of your friend if you'd rather have them on the dance floor, but there are people that will do that for you, that you could hire to do that. Or you just have like a little booth there ready for people to go in and record a little message. That's a nice idea. What else could you do? Oh my God, so many. Props. Think of things like I've seen people signing vinyl records because they're big music people. So they've got a record there that with like some nice white pens, because you obviously can't use like a biro or a Sharpie. They've got like a white pen to go against the black on the vinyl, and then they're keeping that on display with all of their guests have signed it with a message. Love that. I've seen them sign hats or like champagne bottles, wine bottles, or shoes, like anything that you can think of. If there's something that you're like, yeah, this is just reflects who we are as a couple, you can turn that into a guest book because you're turning it into like a piece that you can have on display in your home, right? So maybe it's like a coffee table. You could literally do anything. You could have, I'm trying to look around the room now to see what, give me some more inspo. A plant pot. We talked about people giving plants as gifts in an episode recently. Maybe you have like a big, massive pot that people sign and then you keep like a plant that you can nurture and grow in it. I love that idea. Maybe it's those like you get the little like letter pieces or puzzle pieces that people can sign. That's a really nice one, and people like post them through, and you can do that. What else could you do? Messages in a jar. Sometimes people do like you could do a little message in a jar and roll it up, and then when you want to read them, you like take them out and have a read through. That's a really nice idea. Guest book options are endless, and I think it will depend on the vibe you want for the day. It will depend on the type of guests you're bringing, like what type of people are they going to be up for, if you wanted something a bit more fun and upbeat, maybe you want to do the audio guest book, maybe you want to do the video guest book. It depends on what you guys want to keep and what you think you will actually look back on. So, oh my God, there's so many ideas for that, so many. Have a think, have a brainstorm. And I'm sure I'll think of loads more ideas when I finish this as well. Pinterest is great for inspo like that. Have a look on Instagram, TikTok. Every single day, every single month, every single year, someone is thinking of some new idea to do with something. So if you see something and it resonates with you and you think, yeah, that's so perfect for us, isn't it? Then use that, choose that, do it. You can get the nice like wooden boards. I know my mum did that for her wedding day. Actually, they had like a big thing of wood with some nice pens, and then they wrote on it, like all their guests wrote on it, and they have it on display. It's beautiful. You could do that. Maybe you do like a chopping board because you're big like foodie people. Maybe people do like the branded ones. I've seen those in America where they like brand it with their family crest, or I don't know what it is, like the brand, and then people do theirs on it. That's cute. Any other ideas? Oh, the fingerprint ones, remember those? People used to do like, you do a little fingerprint with like paint or something, and then people would sign that, and you have like a tree. People have then made like a tree of all your guests' fingerprints. Very cute. So yeah, so many options. See what suits you guys? What suits your day? What suits you guys as a couple? What makes sense? What can you incorporate and personalize in a way that feels like it's yours? Brainstorm. Today's episode is all about, here's your homework. Go and sit down, have a brainstorm. What makes sense for us? What feels good for us to include, and go from there. So I'm going to stop there. Honestly, I don't know what's wrong. Do you remember when I said at the start, this is going to be quick Q&A style? And I've done 4 questions in almost 40 minutes. I don't know such a thing. I don't truly know how to talk for not a very long time. So I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless. Hope it's been good fun. I will do a part 2 to this, or a second episode talking about something along these lines, because I had some other points that would be really, really nice to talk through and go through. But I hope this episode's been helpful. I hope it's got you thinking. I hope it's got you brainstorming some ways that you can personalize your wedding day and make it feeling like you. And in the meantime, if you need more inspo, come and find me on Instagram. Come and join the Facebook group. If you need wedding planning help or support, all of my information is in there as well. I would love to connect with you. I would love to find you in the other spaces and keep inspiring you and keep supporting you. Thank you for listening to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to create your dream wedding day and those lasting memories. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I'll be back next Wednesday with more tips, advice, and inspiration. In the meantime, don't be a stranger. Come and find me on Instagram and TikTok at Your Wedding Unlimited, where I share even more wedding ideas and behind-the-scenes insights. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube at Your Wedding Unlimited. And if you're looking for even more support, come and join my private Facebook group, Your Wedding Unlimited. It's an amazing community of fun and authentic engaged couples, packed with extra tips, advice, and insights to guide you along your journey. If you have any questions or need more info, you can DM me or send me an email at yourweddingunlimitedpodcast@gmail.com. All links and details will be in the show notes. Until next time, happy planning!